Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 17 of the Mitch and Alex Show. He's Mitch.
Am I?
I'm Alex.
And
we are the Mitch and Alex Show, sponsored by Bulldog Glass and Property Maintenance. For all your...
Oh, wait. No, they're not there. They're not there.
We got the banner. No, we didn't forget it. We're doing this whole history of All-Star thing, so I thought we'll keep the All-Star banner up and we'll get the Mitch and Alex Show banner back up when we're done. What a busy month of November it's been, Mitch.
It's been a busy month. But before we go into anything, Box, we need to mention that it's very heavily raining right now.
It is, yeah, and there are some connectivity issues.
There could be, yes.
So-
My internet does get affected by rain, so if we pull out and abandon the podcast, we will do this one. We'll pick up on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
But
do apologize. in
Fingers
advance.
crossed.
But yeah, we had October off.
Had October off, and we've stormed home with two strong events in November.
Yeah, we had There Can Only Be One at the iconic Pads to RSL. The main event was Keegan Brettle versus Lee Moreau versus Orlando Jordan.
I've heard from some fans and from some staff members, some wrestlers, that There Can Only Be One is potentially the best All-Star show of the year.
Yeah, it was definitely up there.
For me, it was number 2.
Really?
Yes.
It was number 3 for me. Can't go past the Night to Remember and Summer Spectacular.
Yeah, I had Summer Spec, but I thought it was better than A Night to Remember.
Wow, that's huge.
It was a great show.
The opener saw Tony Cruz become the new Eastern States champion.
Yes, indeed, and he didn't do it under the best methods, Box.
No, he didn't. He did cheat to win.
Do you remember what happened?
I don't. he had his foot up on the ropes.
Yes,
Yeah.
he did have his feet on the ropes, and referee Jeremy did not see it.
No, he did not. Maybe he needs to come to training more often.
He's here every time, Chief.
Jeremy,
Jeremy Copper, the man that always turns up at training.
what a guy.
What a guy.
Sometimes an hour early.
Sometimes an hour early. No, I thought, again, I have someone that reviews these shows for me just to get a second opinion. And this person said that, this is the best opening match of the year for All-Star, possibly ever. So
I did think it was a tie for match of the night between the opener and the main event.
I think the main event edged it out.
Yeah, it was a really good main event. I was somewhat amongst it in the crowd with trying to control the crowd and keep them safe.
I saw you out there doing the Lord's work, Box.
Yeah, it was scary. There was a Nintendo Switch involved. Keegan got thrown onto some chairs.
Both of those moments are up on our YouTube page, by the way, All-Star Wrestling Australia, in the shorts section.
Yeah, new little thing that you've been doing over the last month or so.
And by you mean the social media team.
Yes, but obviously you approve all that.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess that'd be me then, wouldn't it?
There's another cockroach.
I'm not killing it live on air, Chief.
I did it once.
You did.
Remember, it was over there,
Yeah,
and I'm
no,
just
you
like,
did.
oh, let me take a moment out.
Yeah,
I'm a real man, Box.
shout out to David Bullock. Evening, it's been a fantastic November for All Star. It has been.
First one always.
I know it's impressive.
It is.
Um,
What was match 2, Box?
let me get it up.
It was the puppeteer and his coming out.
That's right. He did answer the open challenge.
Yeah,
The
now
rest of us
we
students gave him the all clear and said that he deserves the opportunity.
discussed 2 weeks ago, and I think we said Dance and Dave or the puppeteer would be the ones, right? You thought you were going to put your hand up and get in there, but nah. Villalobos would have ripped you apart. But what a coming out for the puppeteer.
And he got the win.
He got the win, but he won the hearts of the fans.
He did. And I was very impressed with the puppeteer. I was proud. I was proud of the puppeteer.
Did you sing along with the Teapot song?
I didn't.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It is. It's a great move. The teapot elbow drop. What a finisher.
But if he sings the whole song, he misses it. The one that he nailed that led to him winning the match.
He only sang like
He
the
sang
first
like,
line.
yeah, and he nailed it.
Match 3.
The puppeteer has a devastating elbow drop.
He does. Match 3. Jay Sorbet defeats international star wrestler Reese Alexios.
Don't let him hear you say he's not a star.
I don't know. I don't know if he's a star.
Certainly proved himself at the iconic Padstow RSL club. He was kind of what we promoted him as, He was a heavyweight wrestler that can do some impressive lightweight maneuvers, got a great physique, really took it to Jay Sorbet, but Sorbet did pick it up in the end. What do you think of the box?
Sorry. I thought it was great. I think it was a tough match for Sorbet, who's only just started wrestling at the Iconic Pad Star
It's his
RSL.
first victory there as well.
But I thought it was a great showing from both guys, and I think it was a great match.
And a lot of people have been asking if Reese Alexios will be back. He'll apparently be back in Australia in February, and who knows, he might turn up at the Iconic Pad Star RSL.
Maybe enter the Survival of the Fittest Rumble.
Perhaps, yes. That's what will be in February, Survival of the Fittest.
Jack Dullahan defeats J-Law. That's a huge win for Jack Dullahan.
Yeah, victory over a former Australian heavyweight champion. And, J-Law, I think he's had at least 20 years in the business.
J-Law also played a hand in training Jack.
He did, yeah. Jack from the APWG school, Australian Pro Wrestling Gym.
I think Dullahan on a roll. Huge win for him leading into the heavyweight title tournament,
which we will talk about. Yeah, but when Jack hits that spear, it doesn't matter who you are, you're done, and it's devastating. And I think the audience now know once that spear is hit, that's it.
Yeah,
and that's how Dullahan picked up the dub.
Jayla J and Xena surprisingly defeat Jasmine Brettle and Katie Forbes. Yep. Now, I think Jayla pinned Katie Forbes in this one.
Yes, so, Jayla did.
So Jasmine Brettle not taking the pin there. She's the champion, so I guess, I don't know, I guess Jayla J, well, it was Jayla J's last match.
It was, yep. Retiring from wrestling, so all the best to Jayla. There are a lot of
questions surrounding if Jasmine loses, will the winner get a title shot? But
Jasmine didn't lose.
So,
yeah. 100%.
I enjoyed the match. I think it was great. It was a nice moment for Jayla J to celebrate her last match.
It's interesting to see an international like Katie Forbes come out because never spent time in WWE or anything like that, but still someone that the people wanted to see. Yeah. Still had an audience, a fan base at the Iconic Pad Star RSL. And what a great person to be around. Nobody's had anything negative to say about Katie Forbes, and yeah, it's another great wrestler that's competed under those lights at the Iconic Pad Star RSL Club.
Coming out of intermission was Otis defeating B-Boy.
Yeah, their feud continuing. The feud between B-Boy, Caesar, Otis, Morgan Rose. And I can confirm that we know where Morgan Rose is now.
Wow.
Yes, there will be an update soon in regards to all of that.
Wow.
He's not here. I'll tell you that much.
Will he be back in time for December?
I'm thinking so.
We hope so. Semi-main event. The Belief. Johnny Starr and Mike Valuable defeated Hell Yeah and Wes Williams, the best friends, as The Belief like to put it.
It was a tag team grudge match.
It was.
These teams have had problems with each other since like August. Maybe even before. I don't remember. But things are going crazy with them, and The Belief picked up the win.
The full match now available on YouTube. On the
yes,
it
was uploaded yesterday, I believe.
I rewatched it last night, and you could just tell that there was a lot riding for both teams.
And you got to say, the audience at the Pad Star RSL, they absolutely hate Valuable and Star.
They do, and they absolutely love Hell Yeah and Wes.
That's right.
So I think it wasn't one of those matches where it's tough to choose between the two guys fighting in the ring, because it was so clear cut that Hell Yeah and Wes were the fan favorites. And I think
nobody likes Star and Valuable.
Yeah. It was a tough loss for Hell Yeah and Wes, but hopefully they come into December or next year looking a lot stronger, being back and better than ever.
I think they already are.
Yeah. However, mystery surrounding the attack on Hell Yeah.
You're missing the main event box.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just Yeah. No, there was an attack on Hell Yeah after the show.
Attack on Wes as well on Sunday afternoon. Yeah.
So, look, all signs lead to The Belief, but you never know.
There's been a lot of speculation. Like, I've heard on the All-Star Instagram page did a poll, I guess. And some people said Aries. Some people said Keegan. Someone said the Puppeteer. Some people said Wes.
Yeah.
Wes has received the blame for attacking Hell Yeah.
That's what Johnny Starr seems to think.
That's what Johnny Starr thinks, yeah. And then a lot of people thinking the Belief are involved. Someone thinking Orlando Jordan's involved. So there's a lot of speculation.
There is.
Who do you think, Box?
Oh, well, you can't go past the belief. You know, like Wes was attacked and you know, Johnny Starr's signature flag was left behind.
There's that one common thing where the Belief always tend to be around or in the picture.
I believe earlier this year, Caesar was attacked by the belief and
they
left
draped
with his flag.
the flag over him, yeah.
So maybe that's a sign.
I think it's the Belief as well. It's the majority of what people think, but can you imagine if it was an Aries or a Keegan or...
Oh, it'd break our hearts.
Yeah. It'd be interesting, though.
It would be interesting. There'd be so many questions as to why.
Yeah.
No,
I you know, All Stars doing an internal investigation and I'm involved in that, but you know, tracks are being covered up quite well, Box.
The main event of There Can Only Be One.
Let's discuss. It was a great main event.
It was. Orlando Jordan retains the All-Star Heavyweight title against Keegan Brettle and Lee Moreau.
And I was wrong, Box. I said in the lead up to the show, if the match goes over the 10 to 15 minute mark, Orlando could be in trouble.
Yeah.
But he proved me wrong. The match went about 20, 25 maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And Orlando managed to pick up the win. It was a crazy match, Box.
It was bedlam. You know, Keegan, like we said earlier, you know, he got tossed off a platform onto some chairs. There was a Nintendo Switch involved. They're brawling through the crowd. It was nuts. But Orlando managed to get the win and hold on to the All-Star Heavyweight title.
And again, it was the Belief that were involved. They smashed Lee Morrow when he seemingly had the match won. They smashed him in the throat or the head with the flag, and that was it.
It'll be interesting to see where that goes there.
Yeah.
Got some comments here. Mr. Hardy Production says OJ still champion, unlucky BKB.
Was unlucky for Keegan because he was taken out near the end.
Yeah, and
you can see it on the YouTube channel, but he's kind of like he was standing and he was ready to
break up the pin.
No, he was ready to splash Lee Morrow through the chairs.
Oh, right.
Then Morrow moved, Orlando low blowed him and pushed him down.
Right.
And that took Keegan out of the match.
Yeah, no, I know. I was checking on Keegan after the fall, and as he was trying to get up, but he just couldn't move.
I did see at the end when Orlando had the pin, Keegan kind of got that last bit of energy and almost got back in the ring, but he collapsed on the floor.
Yeah, it was just too late.
But he will have an opportunity to get another shot at the title.
David Bullock says, Teapot song singing for the win. And the Content Cat is here. Cool podcast.
Hello, Content Cat.
I love the Content Cat. Christmas Carnage. Should we go into that or should we talk about the Collecticon?
Let's talk about the Collecticon, then we'll talk about Christmas Carnage.
The Collecticon. What a weekend. It was
exciting for you, Box.
It was.
Let's go into the pre-show shenanigans.
Well, last Thursday I turned 18. So it was a great way to celebrate my 18th birthday.
Was it though?
Oh well, I lost twice.
First thing Box did, we held a party for Box. First thing he does when he gets into this 5-star hotel room that All Star paid for him, he whips out his PlayStation and he starts playing Rugby League Live 4.
Well, Keegan asked me to verse him at Rugby League Live 4.
It was different when I was a kid, Box.
And I flogged him.
Yeah, he did quit pretty quickly.
Yeah. All the Content Cat says, did you collect animal toys? We did not, unfortunately. Sorry, Content Cat. David Bullock says it was fantastic to see your Sydney debut, Alex. We'll get into that.
We got to talk about this party first, and we won't mention the Millennial Man.
No, we won't.
Now, if the Millennial Man ever sees this, he'll be like, "What are they laughing about?"
It was a great night. You know, we got together and shared some drinks and had a good time.
Yes, we did. It wasn't exciting or.
We did realize that Jimmy Poulton does sleep talk.
Yeah, now I was told about this. I go to sleep early. I'm an old man. But I
Yeah, you
heard,
were the first one to bed.
and then a bunch of wrestlers jumped on me when I was in bed,
That was me and Keegan.
and 4 others.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. You
Did
guys.
Wes jump in? I think Wes jumped
Yeah,
in.
there was a bunch of people.
Yeah, we all jumped in.
I didn't
Gave
know
you
what
cover.
was going on.
Yeah,
What was our train of thought before that?
Jimmy. Sleep talk.
Jimmy. So I hear the next morning, I get told, Jimmy sleep talks.
Yeah.
And I go, what do you mean he sleep talks? And someone gave me this impersonation. And you tell me if it's true, Box, because you heard it. I heard it goes, "La, la, 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 la," like he's
Essentially, yeah.
yeah. And then I found out either yesterday or today that he finished it with tomorrow.
Yeah, it was like tomorrow. Now, I was pretty drunk when I heard this. I thought he said, "You're going to be cooked tomorrow," and but I wasn't sure, so I said, "Huh?" And I got back tomorrow, and I was like, "Righto, chief." And then
I knew this content would come out. I didn't know it would come out here though. This is good.
And then not 3 seconds later, he was snoring. So I went to pull my phone out to record, but he started snoring, and I was like, "Ah."
Who's
Okay,
that guy that always defends Jimmy on here? He'll be pissed.
Oh, the Aussie Observer.
Yeah. How dare you make fun of him for sleep talking? It's a serious problem.
Yeah. Good lie.
Wow. Box.
What else went on?
It was quite tame, to be honest.
We cracked out UFC 4 on the PlayStation. And
Yeah, nobody cares about that,
Yeah.
Chief. We found out that Matt Rowley, one of our other students, he's just like Goldberg at UFC.
Yeah, we played WWE 2K23 as well, and I went my custom made Johnny Star.
There was a custom made puppeteer as well.
Yeah. It was pretty good.
I was excited for that.
Yeah. Keegan went as Rob Van Dam. But I played a triple threat match with Jimmy and Matt Rowley, and they couldn't beat me, so they ganged up on me. It was practically a 2-on-1 handicap match.
Wow. The disrespect.
Anyway, Sunday. Got up bright and early, about 7:30 a.m.?
No,
8:30?
I got up at 7:30 because I'm responsible.
Oh,
You guys.
I was up till 3 in the morning, so I
You
probably
got-
didn't get up till like 8:30.
Yeah, you guys got up late. Don't think you guys showered or anything like that. And just go to the building to wrestle. Now, for those unfamiliar with the Collecticon, the first session is at 10 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
So it's not a typical nighttime show where we can turn up at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we've got a bunch of hungover wrestlers going over to the Penrith
Well, I
Collecticon.
don't get hangover, so I was fine.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone else drank that much.
No.
But we have had hungover wrestlers there before.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they've got to turn up at like 9.
Yeah, so we got there at like 9:15 due to some delays.
Yep.
Um,
Saw a fella that looked like Hell Yeah who was holding us up, but wasn't
Yeah.
him.
wasn't him.
Must confirm it was not Hell Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bigger version of Hell Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite weird.
Yeah.
Someone cosplaying as Hell Yeah to the Collector.
Possibly. They would have been disappointed when he didn't turn up.
Yeah, it was great. I chucked on my gear and we're all I was sitting in the locker room with my tag team partner Dance and Dave, preparing for our match against the Puppeteer and his new tag team partner
Zuzu the Muscle Clown.
Zuzu the Muscle Clown. Let's get the results up here.
Because you don't remember them off by heart, Box.
No, I don't. So match 1, the Puppeteer and Zuzu defeat myself and Dance and Dave Waters. It's disappointing. Keegan Brettle defeats the debut of Jimmy Zero.
That was a quick match too. Jimmy Zero didn't have much of a chance against the former All-Star Wrestling Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, Jimmy sucks. And Aries defeated Johnny Star in Johnny Star's Collecticon debut.
So that was a Padstow match, really. Like, you're getting a match that we would book at the Padstow shows. And what a match it was. You know, Johnny Star kept working over the leg of Aries. Aries managed to come back and get the win, though. So
Yeah, well, that legwork did me wonders leading into session 2. or so
Ah,
I
that's
thought.
right. Yes.
Match 1 of session 2, I was defeated by Aries.
But you were going for that leg, and that's smart wrestling.
Yeah, I did hear you on commentary saying Box may not be the biggest the quickest or the strongest, but he may be the smartest.
You always do your homework. That's why I say that.
Oh, here we go. This what is this? David Bullock says Jimmy Zero was a cranky little dirtbag, which is fitting considering he comes out to teenage dirtbag.
Yes.
He literally is one. Yeah. So Aries defeated me. I thought I put up a good fight though. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, for a rookie wrestler against the former Eastern States champion who held the belt for over 200 days, you did okay, Box.
Thanks.
There's much work to do.
There is. I'll get there one.
You need to be big and strong and fast, not just smart.
I'll get there. I'll get there. The Puppeteer and Zuzu the Muscle Clown defeat the team of Teenage Dirtbag Jimmy Zero and Johnny Starr. Interesting team there.
Yeah, Johnny Starr didn't seem to want to be teaming with Jimmy Zero.
No, well, at the end of the match, he ditched him. Is there another one, or is that the same one?
It's the same one.
Yeah.
If you just squash it, we'll be fine, Box.
There we go. We're back. Mitch is off to squash a cockroach. Oh, there's two. Get it, Chief. Oh. I think. Whoa. Talk about some content. The content cat wouldn't be pleased with you. Well,
with the content cat, is it animals or bugs?
Cat. Oh, I don't know.
Or just cats?
I don't know.
We don't know too much.
Go
on, Box. Go on.
Anyway, the Puppeteer and Zuzu defeat Jimmy and Johnny. J&J.
Yeah.
After Johnny Starr kind of just left him for dead.
Smart move, to be honest. Jimmy Zero kept disrespecting the veteran in Star.
Keegan Brettle defeated Dave Waters via disqualification after Jimmy Zero ran out and attacked him, followed by myself and Johnny Starr, who went out and attacked him.
Now, what's that about, Box?
Oh, look, I was just trying to look out for my partner, Dancing Dave.
You're meant to be a nice kid.
I know.
I'm concerned about you.
But you mentioned on commentary, Dave's my best friend. And he's my tag team partner.
But, Box, if Dave jumped off a cliff, would you?
I would.
Idiot.
I can't live without him. He's my tag team partner. I love the fella.
Anyway, all right. And then what?
And that led to the Puppeteer, Zuzu the Clown, and Aries running out to make the save.
Yep.
Which then led to a collective combat royal.
Very exciting for the locals, no doubt.
Yeah. Dancing Dave eliminated first. It was heartbreaking.
Yeah. He seemed to think that he was going to win it, but no, it didn't happen.
No, I don't know. He was confident. He hung on at the start there. Keegan threw him over and even copped a drop kick from the Puppeteer, but he was resilient.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. I held on for a little bit. But
he can't outstrength the muscle clown that is Zuzu.
It's true.
I went out pretty early as well as Jimmy.
It's because you're 60 kilos, Chief.
Yeah, right.
Surprised you didn't get body pressed into the grandstand.
No. Keegan Soup kicked me out.
Yeah, lucky.
Yeah. I do recall Aries giving me a massive back chop, and I had his handprint.
Eastern States champion.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe I need some payback on Aries. We'll see.
We'll talk to the booker.
We will.
We've got some comments, Box. Let's go through them. I appreciated the comment about Jimmy Zero being a dirtbag.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Mr. Hardy Productions, did RAP go to your birthday? Now, I believe RAP is an acronym for Ring Announcer Phil.
We can remove the RA, I think. Next question, Box.
David Bullock says, another beautiful bin dump of Waters by Keegan. That was...
Yeah, there was another bin dump.
That was disgusting. And then he sat Dave in Jordan Brettle's pram and smashed him with the bin.
Well, not only that, he smashed him with Jordan Brattle as well.
Shouldn't that be a disqualification?
I brought that up on commentary, but Wes Williams said, nah, play on.
I need to have a discussion with referee Jeremy.
I'll have a chat to him when he turns up tonight.
And then Mr. Hardy Productions sends some kissy face. Righto, Chief. Yeah, so overall, great weekend. I'm 0-6.
As a great wrestler once said, you got to learn to lose before you learn to win.
Who said that?
Dancing Dave.
Speaking of, Mr. Hardy Production says Dave should have won.
The Rumble, I guess he means.
Maybe.
Ah,
I don't know. You take that up with Dave, Chief.
I have a chat to him.
Yeah.
He's been a bit of a dick face today, though.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll bring it up another day.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Dancing dick face.
Yeah, dancing dick face. I
Mm.
like that.
Mhm.
I like that. That's what I was going to go into.
What are we going into, Box? Plug it.
Give me 1 second. Just making sure I've got it up.
Tell the
Okay.
people. Tell the
So
people.
over the last 3 weeks, I guess, because we didn't do one last week.
Yeah.
We've
We need to explain where we were last week.
Can't even remember where we were.
We weren't here.
Well, that's for sure.
We were ribbing people that we were here, but
That's
we
right.
weren't here. I had like a cold or a flu or
Yeah,
something.
you were sick after our show at Padstow.
I always get sick after the Padstow shows. Like,
And we even had a mini stroke after a.
well, that was after a Wollongong
that
show.
was after a-
But yeah, I always get sick. So I don't know what that's about. But I was sick. That's my bad. You didn't explain anything though. You just didn't turn up.
Yeah. But you let the people in our group chat know that there would not be a podcast.
And then people were asking where I was.
And I found some old photos that I took of me standing outside waiting for people. And I was like, boys, I'm here. There's going to be a podcast. There's just going to be a delay. And I reckon you and I spent 2 hours telling the boys that there would be a podcast.
That's right.
And there was no podcast.
Yep.
It was quite entertaining.
But Box, you didn't tell the people where we were. You did a no call, no show. And you know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
It's bad.
And again, no one asked.
Yeah, but if you don't call and you don't show up, it's a criminal sin. Or a cardinal sin.
Yeah, pardon me. So All Star 2020. What a year it was! Huge year for the company.
Well, not really, Box. we had a lot planned, but only 2 shows.
And one of them wasn't even run by you.
We'll get into that.
So let me pull up.
You've
my
got some
notes.
questions.
And
How long do we have for this topic, Box?
about an hour.
We got an hour. All right. We should be able to cover it.
So in late 2019,
Yes.
you announced that you would be making your Sydney debut.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll believe you on that.
Yeah.
I don't remember what date it was specifically.
The event would feature Orlando Jordan
It was Orlando's second appearance for us.
plus a main event of Dean Draven versus El Jaguar
Mm-hmm.
versus Johnny Starr versus Kingston Eclipse.
And what a match that would have been, Box, if it happened.
If it happened, we'll get on. We'll get to that.
All right.
But what were you thinking going into this Sydney debut? Were you nervous? Were you excited? What were your expectations?
It was a much bigger deal because I've talked before, like when we're doing Wollongong, you could rent a building for like $220 a night. Come to Sydney, even the shittiest buildings are like 800.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was more nerve-wracking because you've got more on the line financially, and you want your Sydney show to be a success. You want a nice crowd because the worst thing you want is to turn up in Sydney and have 20 people again, like we did at the first All-Star show in Wollongong. So yeah, it was nerve-wracking. It was an exciting time as well, though. Like we did think it was the start of something new and exciting, but that would come the year later, really.
So the event was run at the not so iconic Penza Star.
The average, the painfully
The
average,
painfully average.
Penzhurst.
Star.
Yes,
What was that building like? And I guess what you only ran there once.
one time.
So
Yeah,
why was that?
we only ran there once because of COVID. We're meant to do more,
Right.
which we'll touch on, I'm sure. But what was it like? It was old,
Oh,
broken down.
like the Bexley Manor Hall.
You said it, not me. They called me the day before and they go, is it a problem? Because it was raining that day. They go, is it a problem that there's water leaking from our roof? And I'm like, no, we should be able to work around that. Thankfully, it didn't rain the next day. But yeah, it wasn't the nicest building, I tell you that much. But it was nicely located. Penshurst is a nice place. It was right near the train station.
Like that stuff.
Yeah. But the inside of the building wasn't really comparable to a Padstow or even an Illawarra Leaks.
Right.
Yeah.
So the main event of that match,
Of that show.
of that show,
Yeah.
was supposed to be the fatal four-way, like I mentioned earlier, between Dean Draven, El Jaguar, Johnny Starr, and Kingston Eclipse.
Yep.
Now,
Only 2 of those 4 turned up.
Yeah, so both Dean Draven and Johnny Starr dropped out, I believe.
Mm.
Why was that? If you can go into it, that is.
Well, Dean Draven, I never found out the reason why. He just randomly said, "I'm not doing it."
Exactly like that.
Well, it was via text, but I assume that's why, or that's how he said it, because he wasn't a man of many words, and he did speak like that. I think his wife told him not to do it,
Right.
and he listened.
Right.
I personally wouldn't listen to my partner if I wanted to do a show, but he did, and I think that's why he pulled out. And all of the Wrestle Strong people that I had left, which is like one other one, I think they pulled out as well.
Right.
And Johnny Starr, me and Johnny Starr had our issues back then because he was involved in the running of the company, but wasn't anything overly serious.
Well, I mean, he did end up coming back. So
He did, yeah. We managed to sort things out. But I think there was a Vulcan show that day, and he picked the Vulcan show over the All-Star show.
Wow.
Johnny Starr, comment. Great minds, box, yeah. But it wasn't long until Johnny Starr recognized the error of his ways, and he said, I'd like to come back and do both.
Yeah.
And I was okay with it. Them, not so much.
So you've mentioned to me previously off it that some Sydney promoters tried to sabotage this event.
Yes, there was 2 promoters that tried to sabotage All-Star in Sydney.
So what happened, and why did it happen?
Well, why it happened is obvious. Like, not that we were remotely a threat to these places at the time, but people get protective of their areas.
Yeah, right.
Which is odd because both promotions, I'll just name the promotions, there's AWF and Wrestle Strong Dojo that tried to sabotage us.
Right.
And they were both like far western Sydney.
Yeah.
Because AWF was like Blacktown,
Wrestle Strong Dojo,
Wrestle Strong Penrith. I don't even know if maybe Wrestle Strong was running at the time. I don't remember. But how did they do it? So one, I don't know which one. I think it was the Wrestle Strong Dojo though, but don't quote me on it.
Not quoting you.
They called the building and they said, Mitch has some undesirable people on the show. I won't reference who, but it was all lies and false narratives and stuff. And the club was like, oh, well, you're welcome to give us a call and we'll chat about it. And the person never called. So it was clearly someone from the Australian wrestling community. And then the other one, the Wrestle Strong Dojo, they started to just pull their people. Like, oh, you can't work All-Star if you work for us. And they still do that. Me personally, I don't care, but they do. They've still got that. So that's all it was. It was nothing major, but they did try and sabotage, and I didn't really get over that.
DJ Sonic and Osama Hussein made their in-ring debuts for All-Star at this event and disappeared after the first couple Sydney shows. Why was this?
So Osama, he was coming back from a neck injury, I believe, and we had him debut and cut a promo at the last Wollongong show, and then he wrestled a match, but it was just like a squash match. And I think he retired at a show afterwards, which I was at as well. So he retired because of an injury. And DJ Sonic, who knows about him? He's like he's one of those what could have been stories, If he jumped on with All-Star at that time, he could have been like a really solid mid-card, upper mid-card Akbars. But he did this one show, and he was one of those types like, hey, DJ, are you available for a show on X date? Nah, I'm not available. Sorry. He'd never say like, oh, I just don't want to do your show. He'd just rather tell you he's unavailable every time until you get the idea. I always thought that was a bit, unpro. But yeah, that's why he didn't want to come back, and I guess Osama was injured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A number of staff members also left.
Mm-hmm.
That being senior referee Jimmy
the ref.
Jimmy the ref.
That's his nickname. He come back as well though.
Yeah, and camera person Ryan Heaton.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Wrestle Strong.
Right, both of them.
Yeah, so they were. Well, I guess Jimmy the ref. He was doing Wrestle Strong at the time
because he was a huge part of early All Star.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, and Ryan Heaton, he'd come on like a year before, and kind of learned the business and got poached by them. Jimmy the ref was smart enough to come back. Ryan Heaton slams me whenever he gets a chance for no reason, and it pops me every time I see Ryan Heaton though, because he certainly made the wrong choice. Like, we had 200 plus in Padstow, 8-9 days ago, 10 days ago. He's wrestling and working in front of 60 people at Penrith Girls Club. You can make decisions in life. He made a bad one.
Ryan Heaton.
Jimmy the ref, though, he's smart enough to come back, and I'm on good terms with him now. He's a top bloke.
Yeah. Well, I think, was it the most recent Summer Spectacular?
Yeah, he was there. He would turn up like once a year, once every 2 years, but he's always welcome to turn up.
He's like El Hebner.
Yes. Yeah. But it's nice to have him there because he did that first All-Star show in 2018, and then he turned up 2023 Summer Spectacular, and such a change. Yeah.
A month later, All-Star holds, I guess, a spot show. Is that what you call it?
Spot show, yeah.
At the Bankstown PCYC, in conjunction with Sam Eater, aka Osama Hussein.
Yes, this is the show I just referenced, actually.
Yeah. What was it like working with Sam? What were the positives and negatives? And did you work with him again?
Will I work with him again now?
Yeah.
No. Working with Sam was good. He has this ability to. I think he's a Lebanese guy. I'm pretty sure he's a Lebanese guy. So he's quite active in that community, the Middle Eastern community. So he had this ability to bring a lot of people to a show just because he was running it, and he had, friends and family members that wanted to support him. So he got like maybe 110, 120 people to this Bankstown PCYC. I don't know if you've been there, Box. It's not very nice. No, he got a pretty decent crowd there, and he didn't do any paid promoting or anything like that. How was he to work with? He listened to what I wanted, and he listened to my advice. So he was good in terms of that. Things kind of went off the rails when we turned up. I guess this would be the negative, but it wasn't overly negative. When we turned up, he was in charge then. And then there's not much guidance you can give someone when it's show day unless they want to let you do it. So he was like, want to start the show with a 40-minute rumble, I think it was. And I'm like, can't really do that. If you want to have a rumble that long, let's maybe put it as the main event. No, I can't do that. But I mean, overall, I'd say that he did a good job. There wasn't too many negatives. Yeah, it was a positive night that night.
Should we run through the card of that show?
Let's run through it, and we should run through the first Sydney show as well.
Yeah, we should.
We'll do that next.
So the Bankstown Cup Battle Royal.
That's the long battle royal. Yeah. I managed to. This is a positive of his. I managed to talk him down to making it much shorter.
Right.
So he was willing to listen.
Osama Hussein defeats a whole host of wrestlers.
Yeah, that was his retirement match.
Should we name the wrestlers?
Nah, it's gonna be too long.
Jackson Spade defeats Mikey Lord.
Yeah. Now he booked this show, not me.
Yeah. The All-Star Tag Team titles. Domination defeat the Vagrant Boys via disqualification.
Yeah.
So the champs retain, being the Vagrant Boys. Jasmine Vittora, then known as now known as Jasmine Brettle, defeats Ivy Algos. Algos?
Don't know who Ivy Algos is, but I do remember Jazz being there.
Matt Bailey defeats Robbie Zucker.
It was a good match. Matt Bailey, Robbie Zuko, two quite accomplished wrestlers, and they've done a lot in New South Wales wrestling. And I remember they had a good match.
And the main event in a last man standing match.
Yep.
Kingston Eclipse defeats Keegan Brettle
For the All-Star title.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a great match. Probably the second best match they had, because there was one they had in Wollongong that we mentioned a couple weeks ago. Wasn't the best match. This one they kind of redeemed themselves. They had a really good match.
And then the famous
A Night to Remember topped all of them, but this one was very good. Let's go into that first Sydney card. We should have touched on that too.
The dawn of a new era. Domination, Chris Rucker and Goran defeat Dan Archer and Jack Zimmer.
Yeah, do you know who Jack Zimmer is?
No.
The rookie wrestler from Canberra.
Right.
He was part of the Vagrant Boys.
Bill Picasso defeats Delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Osama Hussein defeats Barry B. Barry Blake. Yeah. DJ Sonic defeats Jake Gibson.
Yep.
Jasmine defeats Azalea and Nikki Petit.
Yep.
Keegan Brettle and Orlando Jordan defeat Grant Lindstrom and Genghis Kong.
Yeah, they were a team for a little while in All-Star, Grant and Genghis.
And the main event that was supposed to be Dean Draven, El Jaguar, Johnny Starr, and Kingston became Kingston, defeating El Jaguar and the Misfit.
Chuck the Misfit in there because he was he's the AWF champion at the time.
Right.
So we're like, all right, we'll chuck another champion in there.
And Kingston got the win.
He did. Yeah, that card from memory wasn't particularly our best work. It's out there on the All-Star YouTube, actually, if you want to look it up. It's under the All-Star Wrestling Showcase.
Wow. Yeah, I remember doing a little research of the YouTube and seeing
Mm-hmm.
that.
Not the best work, but you all got to start somewhere, and there was a decent crowd there as well. There's like 120, 130 people.
So just two events in 2020.
Yeah.
We're supposed to host an event in March in Wollongong.
Yes. Yeah.
Obviously, COVID hit and everything turned upside down.
Well, COVID hit and everything turned upside down on the week.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was March of 2020, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the show might have been like, and don't quote me on this again, but you know, maybe it was March 21st and maybe like everything started to shut down like March 16, 17. Yeah.
That's nuts. The show at the Illawarra Leagues Club was supposed to feature a main event of Kingston Eclipse versus Ryan Fujiwara.
Yeah.
What was happening, I guess, with everything announced, not even a week before the show? I guess what was going through your mind?
So it's hard to remember the timeline, but I think like, because I remember this quite well, this aspect of it. I remember they banned international travel at some point before. And we're like, okay, we'll run the show. We'll do Keegan versus Ryan Fujiwara, which still would have been a great match. And then things started to like gradually there was more restrictions. Then it was, you know, you can only run in front of 150 people, whatever it was. And we're like, oh, well, we probably won't draw over 150, so we'll be good. Then it was like, you can't run in front of more than 70 people. And we're like, all right, well, we'll cap it at 70 if we pass that. Then all the talent started pulling out because they were, you know, concerned, rightfully so. So I think it ended up having like maybe 8 wrestlers that were keen to wrestle on this card. And there was one guy still encouraging me to put the show on with the 8 wrestlers. But this is like a few days before the show. We weren't selling tickets anymore. Not because they weren't on sale. People were just like, fuck this. I'm not risking it. So we had to cancel the show, and the show would have ended up getting canceled anyway because the club canceled it like the day after we officially did.
Yeah, right.
But it was pretty hectic, like, because we went from, you know, that show in February, whatever date that was, everything was fine. And then, you know, a month later, it's like, can't run in front of anyone or do anything. So, yeah, it was shit.
So I guess what were your plans for 2020? Let me get a bit closer to the mic. Yeah, what were your plans for 2020? And I guess how disappointed were you that it didn't get to happen? I guess you were starting to build a Sydney base.
Yeah, so we invested all that money and stuff into starting or trying to start off hot with a nice Sydney card. So we had like Orlando there, which gave us a bit of momentum. We had, what I thought was a pretty good main event, pretty good semi-main, a good women's match. DJ Jake Gibson, solid enough, and the undercard wasn't great, but the idea was just to build in 2020.
How many events did you have booked for the rest of the year?
Don't remember, but I probably would have booked the first 6 months, because what I normally do is I'll book the first 6 months, and then it'll hit like March, April. I'll start confirming dates for the second half.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but yeah, there was definitely a Night to Remember 2 that was booked, which we can talk about.
That was supposed to feature Chris Masters versus Keegan Brettle, right?
Yeah, and Kingston Eclipse versus Minoru Tanaka from Japan. And
I think I've got that in my note. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, it was supposed to happen at the Penzo Star SL.
Yes, yeah.
Erica Reed and Jasmine Brettle also supposed to be on that show.
Yes, I do remember booking Erica Reed.
Yeah, how do you think that show would have gone?
Well, on paper, that sounds like a pretty good card, right? Like,
yeah, no, that sounds
Kingston and Tanaka, Keegan and Masters, which we did eventually get in Forbes, and Jasmine and Erica always have great matches. So
yeah, we got that at the Night to Remember 3 as well.
Yes, yeah, you got it 2 years later.
Yeah.
I think it would have been a great card. And it would have done what we wanted it to do, which is boost All Stars profile.
Yeah, do you think that would have started? I guess. Do you think that would have given you the start that I guess a Night to Remember 3 gave you? Because after a Night to Remember 3, you really skyrocketed.
I don't think to that level, but maybe on par with the Night to Remember 2 that actually did happen. Because it started to get a little bit more momentum then, but then of course that stopped as well. But that's a conversation for next week. But yeah, I think it would have done a lot for us. Because those 3 matches, like, I wouldn't want to miss them if I was a fan.
Yeah. The original Night to Remember 2 was talked about on a segment on Japanese television.
Yes.
How do you feel about that? How did that all come about?
So Minoru Tanaka, big star in Japan.
Wrestled for Noah,
All Japan, New Japan. He's a huge star. Yeah. Ring of Honor, I think. TNA, WWF. Like he did it in one appearance.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Like
so
Velocity or Heat.
It was Shotgun Saturday Night, actually.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. But he was doing like a talk show, because they've got like a Japanese wrestling channel over there, I guess, or they did. And they've got a talk show, and they were interviewing him, and he started talking about his upcoming title defense in Australia, or upcoming title challenge, rather.
Wow.
In Australia.
What a guy.
Yeah. And they had like a conversation about All Star in its early years on this Japanese TV show.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool. And we've never been on TV even in Australia to this day. So like our sole TV appearance is in Japan.
That's pretty cool. So you pretty much didn't run an event for a whole year. You didn't run again until what, February 21?
Yeah, it was February 21. So yeah.
How did that impact you? Did it get to a point where you were like, well, are we ever going to get to run again? If we do, should I run again? Was there any of those thoughts?
I thought I knew things would get back to normal eventually. Like I was thinking, like a lot of people were hoping, I guess, that it'd be a 1 month thing or 2 month thing.
I didn't do a 2-year thing.
Yeah. So I knew we'd run again, but it's very disheartening because you've got all these plans and they just get put on the back burner.
And you would just moved into Sydney as well, like not
here,
but like in terms of the promotion.
You moved the market, moved into the market of Sydney. So Like that immediately went on the back burner, and then you can't plan anything because you don't know when the restrictions are going to be lifted.
Yeah, so there'd be a whole lot of booking shows and then getting them.
Yeah.
You went through a bit of that, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah. In 2021, I did.
Yeah.
But even in 2020 as well, like we had to cancel that Illawarra League show and A Night to Remember too. And it's disheartening because you pay for the promotional materials, you're paying for flights. Like both those guys that were on the card, they had their flights paid for. And I still haven't got my money back from the Masters flight from 2020.
Wow.
Yeah, it's with Qantas.
That's nice.
Mm. But yeah, it's disheartening. You got all these plans, you promise people things, and then it's like, oh, can't do it.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think, like, I guess forever it impacted everyone like at such a high level as well. Like,
oh, it impacted people all over the world. Yeah. Of course.
Like I was in year 9 at the time, and like having to adjust from waking up every morning, going to school, coming home. It was just wake up, open up your laptop, and look at the screen for 6 hours. It was pretty brutal. But I think like having wrestling as a hobby and something that you love, like I assume you love it. And I guess like for all the wrestlers as well, it would be such a disheartening. Is there another cockroach?
No.
It'd be such a disheartening thing because they don't get to do the one thing that they enjoy doing and that they love.
Yeah, and it's the same for everyone that had a hobby during that time. Like they go, sorry, you can only leave for these 4 reasons, and you know, if you enjoy swimming, you can only swim for 30 minutes a day or whatever it was.
Yeah.
If you enjoy golf, you can't golf. If you enjoy tennis, you can't play tennis. You know, it's what it was. It was just an awful time and something I hope, you know, we never go through again. And I'm sure I'm not the minority on that.
Yeah. Look, we have how many minutes are we? 51. So we've got 40 minutes.
We've got 40 minutes to kill Box.
Unless we go the hour. Do we kill it at the hour?
That's up to you, Box. It's your barbecue. I just work for you.
I'm thinking because 2021 is a big one. I think we save it for next year. Next week.
It's up to you. Well, what time is it now? It's 6:25.
Look who just waltzed in. Always late Aussie wrestling. G'day, fella.
Don't know who Aussie wrestling is.
Jimmy. Jimmy who?
Jimmy, you sleep talk. Tomorrow.
Accurate. The warden says, did anyone hear from Rap?
You can drop the RA, Chief.
And where was he for the collector?
There's been much speculation. A lot of Raps fans have been asking where he was. I received 2 messages on Facebook asking where he was. He just he didn't appear.
The content cat. Love Dean Draven, Australian Wolverine Panther.
Of course, the content cat loves the Wolverine. Get it?
Isn't he the Pantherine? Isn't that?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's the.
It's been a long time since I've watched Dean Draven.
Aussie Wrestling says tomorrow by Silverchair.
Maybe that's what he was quoting in his sleep. Tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe. What a cooked unit. Mr. Hardy Productions says Dance and Dave should have won the match with Big Keeksy B.
Shut up, dancing douche.
Yeah, I agree. Look, we not much. Here we go. Status Tomb. Haven't seen him for a while. Hardy. Him or her. I don't know.
Probably a guy if they're watching this podcast, to be honest.
Yeah, probably.
I think we had one female guest ever.
And it was Jasmine Brettle.
No, it was Blank from Blank's Crystal Cleaning.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Oh, that pops me. How you going, Status Tomb? Look.
All right, well, Box, I hope you've got some more material, Chief.
I've got 2021, but I'm thinking if we don't get much interaction in the comments.
What's been going on in the wrestling world, Box? Let's go in this direction.
Hold on. Warden says, why can't we hear you properly, Box?
It will pop me huge if you'd be talking in a microphone that hasn't been working the whole time.
Brother. It's all plugged in, Chief. I don't know. Anyway. We've been talking for 54 minutes, so we can go for 6 more.
6 more?
Oh, hold on. Here we go. Status Tomb says thoughts on NCPW finishing up.
Oh, that's a good one.
I didn't
See,
know finishing up.
Do you know? Do you even know what NCPW is?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the Port Macquarie.
The bad one. Yeah.
The bad one.
My thoughts on them closing up. Well, I heard I didn't watch their show. I had someone tell me this, but I heard that they're not actually going away.
Oh.
I heard that some students from the wrestling school, so it will be like you, Box, bought up the promotion and they're going to keep it going. So for those that, like bad wrestling, never fear. NCPW will still be around. And for those that like good wrestling, sorry.
Come down to All Star.
You come down to All Star and forget NCPW exists.
Wow.
Well,
Aussie Wrestling says, "How was the con?" Chief,
Box. Do you want me to lie to the people?
No.
You're not gonna get a good show if you watch NCPW.
Aussie Wrestling.
They're
Jimmy.
nice guys. The old owners. They're very nice guys. Sean and Josh.
Sorry, this bit just pops me here. Jimmy Zero, the man who was on the Collecticon, says, "How was the Collecticon?" I don't know, Chief. How's the beef kebab you bought Mitch?
Let's talk about that.
Should we talk about that?
Tell the story, Box.
Okay.
I'll give my insight as we go.
So we're here we're loading up the ring
The day before.
because we set up the ring that night and then train and then the show Sunday morning. So myself, Jeremy Kopp, referee Jeremy, Matt Rowley, I believe.
Rowley was
and
here. Yep.
One of the new trainees. We went up to get some food. I think I bought a munch slap. Really good. And I didn't know where Mitch was. I think he was inside. So we're out here, and I'm like, oh, let's go get a feed. Went and got a feed, came back, and Mitch was like, oh, thanks, Box. What if I wanted something to eat? And I was like, I'm sorry, Chief. I didn't know where you were. And I believe the puppeteer was headed up the shops on his scooter.
Imagine that sight.
What a sight. I think the puppeteer was headed up the shops, and you said, Jimmy, here's $20. Can you get me something to eat and keep the change? I believe you said.
Yes, I'm generous that way.
You said, Jimmy, I want a beef kebab.
Mm-hmm.
So we Googles where to get a beef kebab.
The man got a $7 delivery fee, Box.
Yeah,
for a local kebab.
That's decent.
It's more than decent.
Yeah.
I was gonna give a fucking oath. It's decent. Fucking oath.
So we await the beef kebab.
I was excited, Box.
Yeah, you love a good beef kebab.
Yeah.
September Collecticon comment.
Yes.
Yeah. So Jimmy rocks up and he hands Mitch a suspiciously small bag.
Yeah. Now I'll take over from here.
Yeah.
All of us in the chat know that a kebab is big.
Yep.
It's meaty.
Yep.
Lots of filling, lots of goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy hands me this skinny piece of shit, and I'm touching it.
How ironic.
I'm touching it, and I'm thinking, okay, he hasn't got me a regular kebab, but maybe it's a beef skewer kebab.
Yeah, well, that was you looked at it, and it was small, and you said, I swear to God, Jimmy, you did not just buy me skewer kebab.
But if it was a skewer kebab, I was thinking in my head, look, we can have a little bit of fun with it, but I'll eat it.
Yeah.
Now,
also, we must say that when you asked Jimmy to get this, you said beef, lettuce, tomato, cheese.
Yes.
No, I don't think you said sauce.
No, I wanted tomato sauce.
Oh, you wanted tomato sauce.
Yeah.
And no onion.
Mm.
Was there onion on the kebab?
I don't know. I didn't eat it.
That's right.
So I think, okay, it's a beef skewer kebab. I can work with this. I open it up and I see a sauce, like a sauce you'd get at the bakery for a pie. And at that point, I was like, uh-oh.
Oh, like the squirty sauces? The packet? Yeah, right.
I'm like, all regular kebabs have the sauce in already.
Mm.
So I open it up and it's this like fried, gross looking piece of shit.
It looked like a crepe.
A crepe?
A crepe.
I'm not familiar with the term, Box.
A thin pancake.
It kind of looked like a sausage roll that had been sitting out for a little too long.
Yeah, but it was filled with tomato.
Now,
beef.
I can't imagine what taking a bite of that would have tasted like.
I don't know,
But
but he ended up eating it.
it smelled like shit.
He got a free feed and kept the money, didn't he?
Well, he didn't pay me back for the kebab, and I'm expecting it to be paid back, Jimmy. Now, Box, you can explain what happened afterwards.
You said, Jimmy, I'm not eating this. Throw it out. And he was like, no, I'll eat it. I'll eat it. So he ate it.
But where did he end up getting this monstrosity from?
A Pakistani restaurant, I
A
believe.
Pakistani restaurant for a beef kebab.
Yeah, called Sizzlingo, I believe.
Now we're going to get sued.
Yeah. No, but like, when you think beef kebab, you think,
Look, I'm sure they do beautiful food, but for me,
I don't know, if you want a good beef kebab, you go to
the Lebanese place.
yeah, you go to like TC Brothers. If it ends with Brothers, you've got a good kebab.
And like this man, who goes to a Pakistani restaurant for a fucking kebab. And then the worst part, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'm getting heated. I go, Jimmy, do you know what a beef kebab is? Have you ever had one? He goes, no. I've never had a beef kebab. I don't know what they are. What do you mean, Chief? I go, have you had McDonald's? Yep. KFC? Yep. He's had them all. But the man's never had a beef kebab in his life. Amazing.
Also, he was asked to get me a can of Coke.
Oh, yeah. No, they don't sell cans of Coke, he says. And we were confused by this because what takeaway store does not sell a can of Coke?
Or any sort of drink. A Pepsi
even. He goes, they don't have that. That should have been the tipping
right.
point.
I think he said they had a mango lassi. And I was like,
Mango lassi.
never change, Jimmy. Never change.
Oh, Jimmy's a fucking idiot sometimes. Like, he just doesn't read or listen. And then on the way to the Collecticon with the man, that's a red light. That's a green light. That's a yellow light. Oh, isn't it great that when we drive under the bridge, no water hits the truck? Shut the fuck up, Jimmy. And then we turn up, we give him one job, which is to open the back door to the Collecticon. He somehow can't figure it out. He's having a discussion with someone across the room. Then he smashes the door down, almost hits me in the face. He's cooked. He's a cooked unit. He's lucky that he's good looking.
Oh, I wouldn't go that.
Well, he's lucky he's good looking. I'm surprised he's figured out how to look after his body.
Oh, and then we get to the hotel, and he's wearing a singlet.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Does anyone have a jumper?" So I pulled out my Keegan Bradley jumper, and I handed it to him. And
ring worn Keegan Bradley jumper.
Ring-worn Keegan Bradley jumper. He sits on the couch, curdles into a ball, and almost crying because he didn't have his phone charger with him because it was locked in the truck.
He's
But
a
then
lost
proceeds
cause.
to not get off his phone and save the battery, but just stay on it the entire time. And then I gave him a charger, and that wasn't working for him.
All of the students have their negative traits, but I don't know. I like Jimmy a lot. He's a good fella, but he does a lot of things that are very peculiar.
I believe he sent a message to the group chat saying that his train was 10 minutes delayed.
Of course it is. He's always late as well. This is his deal.
Yeah, I believe his nickname is Always Late Jimmy Fulton.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Has he tried to defend himself in the comments box?
Yeah.
We'll hit it each time.
David Bullock says, either of you at Wrestling Go this weekend?
Box will be there.
I'm going to try to be. No. Dancing Dave and the Puppeteer will be at Wrestling Go. I don't even know if that's announced, Chief. The kebab was massive. What do you mean?
It was not massive.
No onion. There was no onion. Can confirm it was delicious. The water.
Well, there you
says,
go.
I'm dying.
They do good food.
Status Tomb. This is a non-Jimmy related question.
All right.
Who would draw a bigger crowd in Australia? Rikishi, Hardcore Holly, Rhino, X-Pac, or Al Snow?
It's an interesting question. You'd have to go X-Pac, wouldn't you?
Well, he's been out here before, hasn't he?
Yeah, but it was a long time ago. Oh, maybe no, it was about 6 years ago. I'd go Rikishi or X-Pac because X-Pac's got like the D-Generation X thing. He's got NWO, very memorable.
1, 2, 3 kids.
Yeah, but very memorable in the late 90s into the early 2000s.
Rikishi as well, bro.
Yeah, Rikishi's very memorable as well.
Even-
Had
like,
2 good runs.
I guess it depends, like, because you look at Al Snow, for example, with the whole head thing.
Mm.
Um,
It was popular for like 5 years, but Rikishi, he was big for a while.
let's just have some fun with it. Rank them 1 to 5 in terms of how they draw here.
So X-Pac,
Would you then go
Rikishi,
Rikishi,
Rhino, and who are the others?
Al Snow, and Hardcore Holly? You'd go Al Snow and then Hardcore.
Yeah,
Holly.
yeah. Al Snow's. Oh no, Hardcore Holly had the longevity and went across 2 kind of eras, or 3.
Yeah.
He was part of that PG era of WWE in the mid 90s. Then he was there for the Attitude Era. Then he was there for like the Ruthless Aggression era. He finished up in like late 2000s.
Yeah, he was tag team champions with Cody Rhodes, wasn't
Yeah. So I don't know. Al Snow, I think, is more memorable, but Hardcore Holly had more longevity.
he?
It's an interesting choice, though.
Aussie Wrestling says train is late due to rain. To be fair, I'm either the earliest or the latest. Mitch, comment?
It's a stupid thing to say. It means he's never actually
On time.
on time. He's just either stupidly early, which I hate, or stupidly late.
I remember when we first started training.
Oh, the man would turn up 2 hours before and sit across the road.
Yeah, he'd sit under a tree across the road.
Yeah.
On his phone.
Now he's got complacent.
Yeah. Now he's here 2 hours late.
He's a delinquent box.
Did we tell the AirPod story?
Tell it.
So we were sitting here training, and there had just been a huge hubbub.
We could do 2 hours on Jimmy, to be
We
honest.
could.
So many stories.
There was a huge hubbub about Jimmy being late. Well, I mean, it was about punctuality in general. But,
Yes. He had a talking to.
Yeah. Not just Jimmy, though, all of us, I guess.
Yeah.
It was more of just a reminder that we need to be on time. But
It's
Jimmy
important.
specifically.
Yes.
The next day, it hits. So training starts at 12 o'clock on Saturday.
Yeah.
Jimmy didn't arrive till 12:30. And as soon as he gets here, he goes, shit, I've lost my AirPod case, as his AirPods were in his ears.
Yeah.
So what does he do? The man legs it back to the station, even though he left them on the train.
In case someone handed them in, I guess.
Or in case, I don't know, maybe he's the Flash and caught the train.
Mhm.
I don't know. Oh, another question. Here we go. Aussie Wrestling says, fave match of the collective.
Aries and Johnny Starr, hard to top. Sorry, box.
Screw you.
That was a good match.
Lick my nuts. Status Tomb says, who would draw a big crowd? Victoria, Ivory, Jazz, Molly Holly, or Mickey James? I'd have to go Mickey James.
Mickey James, easy choice there.
Victoria's been over here.
She was here for Wrestling Go once, I think.
Who would you put second? Molly Holly,
Who was it again?
Victoria, Ivory, Jazz, Molly Holly, Mickey James.
Go Mickey James, Victoria, Molly Holly, Ivory, Jazz.
Yeah.
I really like Jazz though. She was.
I remember Jazz more than I remember Ivory.
Yeah, maybe swap them around. I really like Jazz though. She was a badass.
Which one was a part of Right to Censor? Is that Ivory?
Yeah, Ivory.
2 hour special on Jimmy featuring Jimmy.
Nah,
To defend
we had Jimmy on the pod once
Oh.
before, and he was garbage.
He was, and Status Tomb. Great point. We haven't talked about Punk return.
We should.
We should. That'll close that.
Status Tomb, are you available to be a producer?
Yeah, honestly, what a guy.
Providing the content.
What a guy. All right, let's talk about Punk returning. So, Survivor Series. It was on the Sunday morning, same as Collecticon.
Yes.
So we get home, or we get back to HQ.
It's pretty much all home.
Yeah. Put the ring away. And Mitch goes, I've got spoilers on Survivor Series.
No. Aries messaged everyone and said, hey guys, stay off social media because Survivor Series just got spoiled. And me, I don't watch WWE, so I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll have a look and see what happened. And I did.
Mhm.
Continue, Box.
So, me and Jeremy are constantly telling you not to spoil it for us, which you didn't.
I was very good.
You told the puppeteer.
Yeah, Puppeteer gave me permission.
Um,
He said, oh, I don't care.
so I got home. I watched the women's War Games match, which was great.
Yep.
Skipped pretty much the rest of the card just because I wanted to see the men's War Games match.
Now, did you know that Punk was going to return?
I didn't check any social media. I stayed off my phone.
But I got all excited.
You did.
You thought that was a work?
Yeah.
Mm.
You're always working.
Never working.
But that's a work. Yeah, so I skipped to the men's War Games match. One, because I was very excited to see Randy Orton. Huge Randy Orton fan. He's been gone for a year and a half. And I liked the way they played it. He didn't make his entrance with the rest of the team. They waited till it was his turn to come out, and then Rhea Ripley's music hit. And they teased Damian Priest cashing in on Seth Rollins, and then Randy Orton's music hit. He came out, kicked ass, hit probably one of the greatest RKOs of all time.
Fucking oath.
And then the match ended, and they played the little copyright symbol, and I was like, oh, surely not. But then I remember they did the same thing with Bray Wyatt's return last year, or the year before. I was like, oh, what's going on here? And I just saw the camera just panned all the way out, so you could see pretty much the entire arena. And I saw Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins kind of just like lean on the ropes, and I just went, oh, I can feel it here, like it's coming. and Cult of Personality hits, and the crowd erupts, and he walks out. What a moment! Almost 10 years he's been gone from WWE.
Yep.
What a moment. However, now you're a massive CM Punk fan. You love
Yeah,
the fella.
I do love CM Punk.
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
What do you mean?
I don't know what it is about him that you love so much.
He's a great package.
Fair enough.
Not that he has a great package. He's a great package. He can talk. He can wrestle. He's got an all right look. He's not jacked, but he doesn't have to be. He's talented enough without it.
Status Zoom says, I genuinely think it's a bad thing. It's bad timing and a bit desperate from WWE. Now, I was really excited about his promo on Raw. And
yeah, I had a lot of wrestling related friends saying, I haven't watched Raw live in years, but I am today because I want to see what Punk has to say.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, his promo was a little bit underwhelming. Now, I wasn't expecting him to come out there and shoot on AEW and shit them to all hell, but I think his promo felt a little bit, I don't know, it didn't seem genuine. It felt a little bit forced.
I haven't seen it, so I can't comment.
He kind of just talked about, he's been gone for 10 years and WWE will always be his home and it's where he belongs. But the fella spent 10 years shitting on the place.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Like, pretty much, every massive promo he cut in AEW, he was shitting on WWE. He mentioned WrestleMania being a 4-night buy one, get one free extravaganza or whatever.
But that's a way to get over in front of that audience as well. That's not necessarily how he felt.
I mean, maybe not. But I don't know. He came out and he was like, this is always going to be my home. This is where I belong. Someone once told me that in order to get everything out of this place, I need to leave and come back. But even in like interviews, like outside of wrestling, before he went to AEW.
Yeah, that's probably where you're going to get his genuine view from.
And he constantly shat on WWE. He just said, I'm never going back. They're dead to me, whatever.
Never say never, Box.
Yeah, I guess not. I don't know.
Now, I did see a picture that suggested that Triple H may have sent CM Punk to AEW.
Yeah.
to kill them off.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I saw the picture of Triple H and CM Punk together as well, and I guess it's nice that they've mended fences.
They mended fences, just like me and Johnny Starr did in 2021.
You're Triple H, he's CM Punk.
I wouldn't go that far, Chief.
You or him?
Wow.
David Bullock says the leash on Punk by Triple H will be short for a while. Yeah. I get that. Here's the fake Aussie Observer. Aussie Wrestling is right. He should defend himself. I know this is the big one. This is just Aussie Wrestling under his Aussie Observer moniker.
Oh.
Yeah, this is
He
like
has an Aussie
this
wrestler.
is like when there was two Sin Caras. Oh, you didn't get that. Trying to think of a reference.
It's like Kane and Kane
It's like
from
yeah,
06.
it's like the double Kane thing. Yeah,
Right.
this is Luke Gallows.
Luke Gallows still in WWE?
Yeah. I think Carl Anderson, his tag team partner, is injured.
Okay.
Here we go. Status Tomb says, who does Punk face at Mania? I don't know if this whole thing with Rollins is a shoot. There's a lot of beef there. I don't know if it's real life beef or not. But that'd be the obvious moneymaker.
I'm just gonna give the obvious answer here, and that is whatever will make the most money.
Yeah, and that'd be Rollins.
Yeah.
Unless you bring Cena in to feud with.
Nah, you saw that a decade ago.
I don't know. Maybe like one final match for Cena. That'd be a nice little final match for Cena. I don't know. Maybe you like. It'd be Rollins. It'd have to be someone like that. I don't know anyone else that you could really put him in there against. You don't really watch, so you wouldn't know either, would you?
Nah, but if Tony Khan was booking, it'd be some WWE mid-card guy.
Well, yeah, I mean, he spent half his AEW run feuding against mid-card, so...
Yeah, they never really, in his AEW run, they never really had that big money match with Punk, did they?
Like, the best one they had
Was Moxley.
I was going to say MJF.
Nah, like a big money match with two big stars come together.
Yeah,
and
he was probably the only one.
Yeah,
Maybe Hangman.
Mox's a big star, but he's not on a level
Like
of...
He never versed Kenny. He never versed Brian.
Yeah, see, those would have been the money matches.
Didn't even verse Jericho.
Mm.
So I think it was a bit of a waste. But I think at the same time, it's like, oh, well, we've seen Punk versus Jericho. We've seen Punk versus Brian. So why would we do it again? It's different because they're both at different stages of their career.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Don't know, Chief.
I personally, I'd go Rollins. You could put him in there against Cody. You could put him in there against Roman, but I don't think they will do that.
Let's do CM Punk versus Ryback.
Oh, did you see that thing about Ryback saying he'd retire if CM Punk returned? And he returned and he said, oh, no, I meant AEW.
Yeah, Ryback loves the attention.
There was also a video on TikTok where Ryback posted a video of him making out with a Shrek filter. So
Ryback's funny. He's going to come back to Australia.
Yeah, he's good. Here we go.
We're running out of time, Box. Let's get through these final comments.
Aussie Observer says, once again, picking on Aussie wrestling. Yeah, whatever, Jimmy. Cameraman Shay's in here. Hey, yo. You're only an hour and 18 minutes late there, Shay.
Hey, better late than never.
Better late than never. Oh, unless you're Jimmy Fulton. There's a whole thing. Hey, yo, again on my proper account. How would I be commenting on this with both accounts? I don't know. Switching.
Always looking for attention, Jimmy Fulton.
Yeah. Status Tomb, Punk versus Rhodes. Yeah, I think that'd be a good way to go. Cody's he's a made star now. He's one of their top guys, babyface or heel. And Punk, he'd make money no matter who you put him in there with, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe like you could see them going the route of Nakamura or a Dominic Mysterio or someone like that, but I don't think that's the right decision. I think you've got to go balls to the wall to start with.
Fucking oath.
Yeah.
Puppeteer would like that. It's a reference.
Aussie Observer says, overcome by the hate and be the greatest. I love to see you on the big stage. Still young and lots to learn. Says Aussie Observer about Jimmy. Even though that is Jimmy. He's going to have a talking to when he gets in. Shay says, to be fair, I was watching a movie at the cinema.
It's all right.
Do you think Punk will be in Perth?
It'd be a really good way to sell out a stadium.
Well, I mean, they've already got...
Is Roman on?
I'm not sure.
Who's the big selling point for WWE in Perth?
You have a look. I know they've advertised like Logan Paul, and they've advertised.
But who's the big wrestling draw?
There's rumors that Rock will be there, but I'm not sure. There's rumors Taker will be
Nah,
there.
forget rumors. Who's confirmed?
I've got to have a look. Uno Momentum.
Maybe,
Those two, Mitch, you know.
maybe the chat can tell us because Box is unprepared.
Cody and Rollins are on the show. Rhea Ripley would be a huge selling point.
CM Punk a bigger star than all of them though.
Yeah,
So maybe they will get Punk on there, and it makes smart business sense.
yeah, it would.
Get the biggest star you can on the show.
Um,
It'd be Roman or Punk, I guess. And even then, you'd have to say Punk's probably a bigger star than Roman.
yeah, I would say. I think Punk will.
The vehicle has just arrived, Box. Do you want to play our favorite game?
What is it?
Who's
Doors?
coming through the door?
Yeah, mystery doors.
I already know who this is.
Jeremy. Jeremy Cobb.
Yes.
So that's
Referee.
to him. Rhodes, Rollins, Belair, Reigns. Yeah. Also, Reigns will be there.
Here he is.
Oh no!
Oh no. It's someone else.
Hello, beautiful. It's my tag team partner, Dancing Dave.
Dancing Dave.
Dancing. Yeah.
Hello, Dancing Dave.
What?
He says Rhea Ripley's the biggest star.
I mean, I guess in a Perth crowd, she would be.
Nah, Punk could just put her to shame.
Oh yeah, Punk would be. But I mean,
Punk's one of the biggest wrestling stars, I guess, ever. They broke all these social media records and
they did, yeah.
all that. That's
Cody
just
would
huge.
be huge. Rollins would be huge. Punk would be huge. Rhea. So I think it'll be a good show.
Oh, that would be a good show.
Yeah, you know,
sure.
like, but especially if they've got rumors of The Rock and Undertaker coming in as well. Stone Cold. Wow. No, they wouldn't have all three,
No.
surely. The Western Australian government isn't paying them that much.
You'd be surprised. Wonder if Wagga Wagga will be fielding an offer. Wagga All Star Wrestling Australia available. Available for your show.
Status Doom says thoughts on Delta winning the Riot City Wrestling title. RCW, didn't she win the MCW? Oh no, that was the
I don't know.
mid card. I don't know too much. Oh,
It's Adelaide. I don't know much about Adelaide.
yeah, right. Waller will be in Perth. That'll be huge. I reckon he'll get a pop. But then again, he'll probably shit on his own country, and then
Good for him. I like Waller.
yeah, he's a good bloke. So does Jimmy. What promoter insults a student on a public platform?
Jimmy Poulton. Be having a chat to him when he turns up. The serious one.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Dancing Dave says we were so funny he almost crashed his car. Well, I'm glad you didn't.
But I'm glad you find us entertaining.
Imagine if we got word that Dancing Dave was in a car crash and he was playing our podcast.
What a way to go out.
No, I'd be sad. I'd be so
But
sad.
hearing our voices at the end of your life.
Oh, well.
Oh,
Why so loud?
it'd have to be. Nah, it can't be. What do you mean? Oh, it's not Jimmy. Oh, it's the real one.
All right.
I don't know anymore, Chief.
Well,
There's too many Aussie observers.
everyone's arriving, Box.
Let's end it here, I think.
Let's end it here. Is there any final questions?
Oh, I don't think so.
No.
No. All right. Status soon. Thank you for tuning in. And
Plug the sponsors.
plug the sponsors. We are the Mitch and Alex Show, sponsored by Bulldog Glass and Property Maintenance. I'm looking my sponsor right in the eye as we speak. For a small fee, the Bulldog does come and do the work.
It's
Isn't that
true.
right, sponsor? He nods.
He's wearing a Santa hat as well.
What a guy.
Have you noticed that? Santa hat?
I did notice.
Mm.
I like it.
Mm.
You look a bit like Santa.
I'm getting there, Chief.
Yeah, you're getting
I'm
there.
getting there.
Have a great rest of your night, and we will see you next week
Mhm.
for
Well, thanks for that. We've been interrupted.
big one. Jeez.
just as we were wrapping up.
Anyway, we'll see you next week.
See you next week for All Star
Oh.
2021.
That is exactly right. He's Mitch.
Am I?
I'm Alex.
Oh, yeah.
And we are the Mitch and Alex Show.
All right.
See you later.
Thank you, guys.